your local news leader. This is Passe Partout.
Good morning, Acadiana. We begin this morning with a family member of a former employee at a Eunice daycare now under investigation for child abuse. She says the mistreatment has been going on for years. The investigation into the Pumpkin Patch daycare of Eunice began after video surfaced this week showing young children being mistreated. A former employee sent News 10 video of employees throwing slices of cheese on the faces of these toddlers and young children, wearing scary masks and intentionally frightening the little ones to the point of tears, also taping them to a chair. Some employees are seen laughing while the children are crying. News 10 Philip also spoke with a family member of a former employee who tells us why she says she quit.
There was a lot of mistreating kids, the workers over there, the staff would put their hands on children's kids, and she worked there years ago.
Adriana Rasmussen says this is one of the reasons her family member quit her job at Pumpkin Patch Daycare about 3 years ago.
She told me that Courtney didn't have any, she had cameras in the building, but they were never on. You don't run a daycare facility with other people's children in there and not have cameras on.
According to the daycare's website, Courtney Fontenot is the owner and manager. We tried contacting her, though our calls went unanswered. News 10 also waited at the daycare for hours, though no one was there. Residents who live nearby tell News 10 they were up and running last week, though this week they've been closed. Rasmussen says the owner and staff should be held accountable.
That they should be ashamed of themselves, and they should look at their kids and wonder what they would do if that would happen to their child. If their child would be taped to a chair, getting slapped in the face with a piece of cheese, or being scared with a mask.
Eunice Police Chief Kyle LaBeouf says the videos could be old, though that doesn't matter when it comes to criminal charges. Rasmussen's family member says she should have gone to police back then when she quit.
Gotcha. I don't think the cops were involved, because if they were involved, this would have came out since way years ago.
The chief told News 10 earlier this week the video shows child abuse or child neglect. He says the case is under investigation. No word yet for us on who will be charged, if anyone, and what those charges will be. With investigations currently underway at the Pumpkin Patch Daycare, this becomes the fourth daycare staff investigation reported by News 10 this year. A daycare director in Acadiana tells us a challenge in finding workers comes down to multiple factors. With wages listed as low as $9 an hour, it limits the amount of applicants. A second challenge comes from government regulations requiring more employees to be hired. When asking the director what can keep employees up to standards, we were told all directors should be present at all times on campus to make corrections as needed. For any new information on treatment of children at the Eunice daycare, you can log onto our website. That's klfy.com. Meanwhile, St. Mary Parish Sheriff's officials say no foul play is suspected in the death of a man whose body was found in the Bayou Teche. Deputies say they responded to a call about a boat without a boater in it. The deputy, accompanied by a family member, found the body of 64-year-old Terry Babin of Jeanerette near his vessel, which was close to the bank. So, the Youngsville Police Department and Chief are at the center of another investigation, this time by the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office.
Attorney Rebecca LaSalle
tells News 10 Youngsville Police Chief Ricky Boudreaux is in the hospital.
LaSalle, who is assisting Attorney Pat McGee with Chief Boudreaux's civil lawsuit, says the chief had to have an angioplasty for heart problems today. She sent a statement to News 10 saying, quote, due to the toll of these malicious attacks on Chief Boudreaux, he was rushed to the hospital. LaSalle also told us that Mayor Ritter asked the chief to consider resigning this past past Tuesday. LaSalle says Boudreaux is not going to discuss his conversation with the mayor, but out of respect for the citizens of Youngsville, he is considering all options. Now, there are reports that July 17th, a Youngsville Police Department employee allegedly discovered a substance that tested positive for methamphetamine near the police chief's office. A search warrant was signed by Judge Royal Colbert, giving the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office permission to obtain video footage from the police department cameras and to conduct an investigation on how the drugs got there. Since earlier this year, Chief Boudreaux has been the center of controversy since a former councilwoman crashed her car in the Sugar Mill Pond subdivision. After that crash by former councilperson Kayla Rayo, the city has called for an investigation into how the police chief has handled this incident and other incidents like this. When the city asked him to step down from office, Police Chief Boudreaux said no. He has since sued the city because he claims they have no authority to conduct an investigation into his office since he's an elected official. We asked his attorneys if Chief Boudreaux would like to talk with KLFY News 10. They said, quote, out of respect for his family, the chief would not comment further, end quote. We also reached out to Mayor Ken Ritter, who did not respond to our calls. In Youngsville, Roderica Taylor, KLFY News 10.
Meanwhile, police say a Crowley man is dead and a young girl was hospitalized in two separate crashes involving pedestrians Thursday, and again, that was in Crowley. The first crash happened in the 1100 block of Northeastern Avenue around 4:45 a.m. Thursday. The driver, we're told, called police to report that crash. Randy Coleman of Crowley was pronounced dead at the scene. And then the second pedestrian crash happened around 10 a.m. in the 1700 block of North Parkinson Avenue. Authorities say a girl was hit by a car turning into the parking lot of a business. The victim was taken to the hospital with what police described as moderate injuries. Investigations into both the crashes are ongoing. A Breaux Bridge man is facing charges for several burglaries in St. Martinville. Now, we're told the first burglary happened on July 12th on Andrew Drive. Deputies learned the suspect, identified as 21-year-old Anthony Edmond Jr., broke into a home and began fighting with the homeowner. The suspect then armed himself and shot at the homeowner, injuring him. During the investigation, authorities connected two additional home burglaries in July to Edmond. He was arrested and now faces several burglary charges and one count of attempted second-degree murder. So, after nearly all of the state's death row inmates asked Governor John Bel Edwards for clemency, they have all been denied for now. The state pardon board has turned away 56 petitions for executive clemency filed in June. The board says none of them are currently eligible. They admit their decision was based on an opinion from Attorney General Jeff Landry last week. Now the decision is left to the governor, who has not yet commented whether he will make that request. So people in Mamou are outraged as a sewage leak continues to affect their homes and yards. As News 10's Kai Price found out for us, this problem has been going on for 8 years. Residents say neither Evangeline Parish nor Mamou city officials have tried to fix and clean up that raw sewage.
Residents on St. Peter Street are in distress after nothing being done to fix a persistent sewage issue in their neighborhood.
10 o'clock at night and my commodes won't flush. I got to get out here. I'm 80 years old and I got to run a hose as far as I can up in my sewage to make my commodes flush.
Ouye says she's constantly asked for the name of the builders of the sewage system from city officials, but has not gotten anywhere on finding out who they are.
I've asked the police jury and the city of Mamou to give me the name of the contractors that built this system, that actually put it in, till no avail. Neither, they tell me, oh, we're going to call you back with the name, but they don't give it to me, none of them.
Maggie Granger says the sewage makes it hard to breathe and causes people in the neighborhood to get sick.
Day to day, the air is thicker. You notice people are getting sicker around the neighborhood. There's times where sewage backs up outside on the pipes, as I've shown before, and it makes just a mess of everything.
Granger urges government officials to take responsibility for their actions and come fix the issue immediately.
People's health are on the line. They need to come fix it, whoever is responsible. Stop giving the runaround. Stop putting blame on other people. Please come see about this.
I reached out to the Evangeline Parish Police Jury, who says they have no knowledge of the issue but will look into it immediately. We will keep you updated if they do fix the problem. In Mamou, Kai Price, KLFY, News 10.
Also, News 10 reached out to the city of Mamou and the Mamou Utility Barn, who say they have no comment on this issue. All right, let's check over into the Storm Team Weather Center. Meteorologist Trevor Sonnier, welcome home. We missed you. I know I missed you. I just, I enjoy talking with you, and no one else will listen to me but you.
Yeah, we've definitely had some good times on this morning show, and we'll have many more good times to come.
Do, Trevor.
And it's pretty hot out there upon my return. I'm coming back to a furnace. Temperatures in the upper 90s for today. Let's take a look at our Sky 10 camera network, of course, in Lafayette. And it's showing clear skies out there and traffic pretty calm, as it usually is this time of morning, especially a Saturday morning. 76 in Lafayette, 78 in New Iberia, 72 in Opelousas, and these could actually be some of the coolest temperatures we see over the next 7 days, because our lows could be somewhere closer to 80 degrees each and every morning, pretty much through the end of next week. Satellite radar shows us a big dome of high pressure that's right overhead, and that's actually why we're going to be seeing these hot temperatures through the next few days. Temperatures rising through the 80s, getting into the mid to upper 90s for today. I'll say about 98 to 99 the high. Future track shows partly cloudy skies. Rain chances have been limited. I see that continuing as well. Maybe a slight uptick in rain chances by tomorrow and especially by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, but we're only talking from 20 to about 30% coverage, so not expecting much, and trust me, we'll be wanting these showers by the end of next week with these hot temperatures coming. But parts of southwestern Acadiana, even the heart of Acadiana, in a severe drought, so we could definitely use some of this rainfall. Any rainfall that we see each day will definitely be needed. Temperatures rising for this afternoon, getting into the upper 90s, falling back into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees for tonight, and then the heat really begins to build for tomorrow and through next week. We could be nearing 100, maybe exceeding 100 degrees for tomorrow, and then I'm expecting at least 100 for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if not 101 to 102 degrees. The only good news I see for today, heat index values are a little bit more manageable. We're talking at about 100 to 105, which is still pretty high, but a heat advisory is actually not in effect for today because of that. But for tomorrow and through the next few days, those dew points will begin to creep up, and that's when we're talking heat index values of 105 to possibly as high as 115 degrees. It's all dependent on that dew point and how much moisture is in the atmosphere, but either way, that's certainly dangerous. We'll be in this territory where sunstroke, heat cramps, heat exhaustion become likely with the prolonged exposure to the outdoors, and heat stroke becomes possible. So just make sure you remember that through the next few days with this ridge of high pressure continuing to build. You can see that clockwise flow right overhead through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So this pattern will be pretty persistent here through the next 5 to 7 days. 99 your high today. Heat index values, I'd say about 100 to 105, possibly as high as 108. A light southwest wind. Isolated rain chance of about 20%. And look at this 7-day forecast. Definitely one of the hotter 7-day forecasts I've done through the past 9 to 10 years of my career. 100 to 102 potentially by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, with that 20 to 30% rain chance each afternoon.
Man, look at that. That's scary. That's scary. And I've been trying to work out, that. And so this just kind of hampers it. An excuse, right?
Yeah.
It gives me a great excuse.
We definitely see 100 degrees around here, but to see it for a prolonged period like this, 5 to 7 days, that's pretty rare. It doesn't happen too often.
All right. We thank you for that, Trevor. And remember, if you want to check out the stories, also your weekend weather forecast, you can find all of that on the website. That's KLFY.com. Meanwhile, here at KLFY, we're honoring veterans and everyone currently serving in the military. This week, we're honoring Airman First Class Cave Guidry of the U.S. Air Force. We thank you for your service. If you have a veteran or a member of the armed forces currently serving and want us to honor them, you know what you can do. You go to klfy.com, click on that banner, and just let us know who you would like to honor. So, Trevor, coming up on this Saturday morning Passe Partout, St. Thomas More's Alumni Fishing Rodeo is happening next week, and you still have time to sign up. Joe Grunick, oh my, early in the morning, bringing us the details. That's next.
And full details on this scorching 7-day forecast right after the break.